In case you've been living under a rock for the last few months, there's been a massive change in trend in the online coaching space towards this thing called Yapmaxxing. If you've been making content for a while, you've probably tried yourself to make highly scripted, polished, edited videos that are high production, and it feels like you're a monkey dancing on camera or an actor playing a role in a movie. And if you're anything like me, you hate that. It sucks, and rarely does it ever actually get any views. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the the trinity of Yapmaxxing and break down the art of it, the full guide to printing money with your content. When you do this properly, not only are you going to get a ton of new eyeballs, but you're going to get those eyeballs warmed up, ready to actually buy whatever you're selling with your personal brand. This is the way to build such a deep foundational layer of trust and connection with your audience, so they will throw their credit cards at you. So I'm going to break down the three components of Yapmaxxing. When you nail all three of these, it's going to absolutely crush. But the last one is seriously the glue that ties it all in together. You can nail the first two, but if you miss the last one, it is going to flop and you will be wasting a lot of energy. So let's get into it. First one is the topic. And so it's important to make sure that we start with like our North Star. What are we actually talking about? Why are we making this piece of content? It has to have a purpose. And so if we just yap and hit record and just start talking about anything, then like it doesn't matter. No one's going to care, right? And so before we really rock and roll into this, like one thing I do want to cover in case you're unfamiliar with the term Yapmaxxing, if you are, just go follow me on Instagram and links in the description, and you'll see the style of the video there. And I'll show you some examples at the end of this video as well, showing you how I've actually done this to get hundreds of thousands of views and tons of actually high quality inbound leads that end up converting into clients and customers as well. So basically all it is, you get an idea in your head, you pull out your iPhone, you hit record, and you just start yapping. You just start talking. And then from there, you just upload it to Instagram, like no edits, just raw, maybe slap some captions on it and a couple other things I'll show you in this video. But that's pretty much it. It takes me less than 5 minutes from ideation to like posting. And so it's super straightforward, super easy. And the algorithm is massively, massively rewarding this right now as well. So topic, are you talking about something that people actually care about? Do people actually care about the thing that you're talking about? And when I say people, it's important to get very specific in who you're actually trying to speak to, because our content works kind of like a radio. The message that we emit, the message that we broadcast out to the world depends, like that determines who's going to be listening and who's going to tune into that, and then who's going to come into our world and keep engaging with us. And so if we're just making super broad, wide content that's not very specific to our specific niche, then we're not going to get buyers. We're just going to end up attracting a lot of random people who have very low intent. They're probably broke, and like it might scratch our back a little bit and give us a little bit of a tickle because we're getting followers and eyeballs, but they're not going to be the right ones. And so they're not going to turn into dollars. And that's what I don't want to happen for you, because I see this happen way too often with people. So you want to make sure that you talk about a topic that is trending right now, something that's a little bit spicy in your niche. And a great question to figure this out is, what's everyone in your niche thinking and feeling right now, but nobody's saying? And so an example of this is last year, like I was running a $2 million a year coaching business, had a team of 5 people and hundreds of clients, helped my clients do over 100 mil with online coaching and consulting. And I just got super burnt out. My margins were like 30%, which is like, I understand it's like not horrible, but like we're averaging, like $160,000, $170,000 a month. Our biggest one was like 286. And yeah, there was some good profit from there. Then the next month, I think it was like down to like 90 or 100 or something like that. And then it just like wiped it out from there. But nonetheless, I was just like, this feels broken. I'm working like 10 to 12 hours a day. I kind of like, we're getting unreal results and like it's a ton of fun, but also I was like stressed out of my mind for like not that much money. I'm like, it'd be way easier just to do like 50K a month as a one-man show on my own. And so I ended up shutting things down, and I started making content talking about how the profit margins are broken and complexity is like massively skyrockets at scale. And when I started posting about this, everybody was thinking it and feeling it, but nobody was talking about this. And so these videos started to go niche viral. They started to absolutely pop off in the space. And I was getting tons of organic leads inbound that were actually highly qualified, like 48. I think I made a video where I was getting like 48 inbound qualified leads a day completely for free from these videos. And if you think about it, it's like my offer is like not super cheap. Well, actually it isn't right now. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like actually dumb. If you have questions about that and what it looks like to work with me, just message me on Instagram. But nonetheless, it's, yeah, anyways, different story. But anyways, like it started to pop off, bringing the right people for free. And like, I'll show you some of the videos too, towards the end of this one, and actually bring up some live examples once we hit all three of these points to actually show you how, like, how simple it really is. And another like tactical way you can do this is research competitors' best performing videos for views and comments. So comments, engagement is actually really important. Comments, shares, stuff like that. Views can be like, obviously that's like the first one that you look at, but if it doesn't get like much engagement and then it gets a lot of views, it might be like the wrong kind of views. Because if the right people are engaging, then boom, that's how you know it's pretty good, right? And then ask yourself too, last little sanity check: is this a topic you can actually speak on, right? You don't want to just yap for the sake of yapping on something and end up like sounding like an idiot because you don't actually have any experience. And so one of my really good buddies, I was actually with him last night, Sam Gaudette. He's Dan Martell's creative director and helped him blow up his personal brand. We were chatting last night about this, and one of like the things that he always says in his content is like, in order to build a personal brand that people want to follow, like you got to do cool shit. You got to do things that are actually interesting and do stuff that people actually care about, and then talk about it and then document it, right? And so like if you're like a business coach, it's like, well, like you got to have something, you got to build a business, right? And then people are going to listen to you. If you're a fitness coach, like you got to be in good shape or have a really good transformation and journey and then document that, right? And so you want to make sure it's actually something that you can speak on out of real experience. That's how it's going to feel super authentic and natural. If you miss this, it's going to feel like you're kind of reaching, and people are going to feel that inauthenticity. So we don't want that to happen. All right, number 2 of the trinity of Yapmaxxing. We covered the topic. Now we're going for the take, right? And keep in mind, the third one is what really ties them all together, but the take. So what do I mean by the take? Well, what do you think is a load of shit that a lot of people in your niche are doing, are teaching, are preaching, have been trying, that just doesn't work, right? And so what's your unique stance on this topic? What do you stand for? What do you stand against? Why? Pick a hill to die on. It doesn't matter which side of the hill which hill you pick. As long as you just pick a hill, you plant your flag and you're willing to die on that hill, then you're going to attract people that agree with you, and you're also going to repel some people that don't agree with you. But that's exactly what we want, because we want to give them an opportunity to disagree with us. Another one of my good buddies, Cole De Silva, he also says this too. We were speaking at the same event back in the fall, and in his talk, he was talking about content because he's got millions of followers, and he was like, you have to pick a hill to die on, because you have to give people the opportunity in your content to either agree with you or disagree with you. That's how you get lots of shares. That's how you get tons of comments. And that's how like it blows up and pumps the algorithm, right? And so don't be afraid to be a little spicy. That's how you stand out, because if you're just vanilla, you're the same as everybody else, and nothing, like no one's going to care. And you're just going to blend in and waste a lot of your time and energy making videos that nobody cares about. And I don't want that to happen, right? And so you have to pick a hill to die on. Doesn't really matter what the hill is, right? For example, like when I first started my coaching business about 4 years ago, I was like, I pretty much like led the charge for like the ads and setters. And so at the time, everyone was running like either organic, trying to just go viral, or like have VAs sending cold DMs, or running super expensive, complicated VSL funnels and stuff like that. There was no easy and simple way. And it's like, all right, cool. Like, fuck organic. You have to start running ads, but also fuck all the expensive, complicated ad funnels. You don't need that. You don't even need a website or landing page. Like, you can just be like really retarded like me and just like only use Instagram and like boost a post and then make millions of dollars from that. Like it's kind of, it's crazy if you think about it. And so I was like actively opposing, like I chose an enemy, which was organic marketing coaches, because all of my people, all of my ideal clients had joined other programs where people just taught organic. And then my clients hated that. They're like, organic sucks. I don't want to do that anymore. It just brings in horrible quality leads if it brings in any of them. And so I'm like, yes, I agree. Screw those guys. They're lying to you. They're just taking your money. They're rinsing you. And I'm on your side, right? I'm going to war. That's my hill. Ads is way better than organic, but simple ads is way better than complicated ads, especially if you're under 100K a month. And so that was kind of my unique stance. And so as a result, things absolutely popped off. It went from zero to over $200,000 a month in my first 8 months with just me and one appointment setter. It was nuts. And that's because I had some polarity. I chose an enemy. I remember I made an Instagram story once where I was like, I think it was like at the gym or something. I was like, good morning to everybody except organic marketing coaches. And literally I've had 3 paying clients that pay me about $8,000 to $10,000 each. That's what the offer was back then. Tell me that they saw that one specific story and were like, dude, that's like, that was the tipping point. That story is what got me. Like I laughed out loud, and that's what pushed me over the edge to actually want to work with you and buy from you. I was like, wow, okay. So there's a lot of little dominoes, and you just got to knock them down one at a time. But that was the final one. And so you have to have a unique take on the industry. Otherwise, like, again, so you have to talk about something that people care about, right? A topic that actually matters. And then you have to have a unique insight and perspective on it, right? And so let's say you're a fitness coach, for example. What do you think in the fitness space is bullshit? What do you think is wrong? What do you think is broken about it? And almost most importantly, what do your ideal clients think is broken about it? What have they tried before that doesn't work? What are they doing right now that just isn't working? Have they lost weight before and then gained it right back, or like felt super restricted, or felt like they had to eat like 1,500 calories and it just wasn't sustainable? Like, you have to be the person leading the charge, opposing all the things that they hate, and then give them the solution that solves all the problems, where it's like they can eat more and lose weight and they don't feel restricted and they don't have to spend 7 days a week in the gym 2 hours at a time, right? And so you want to build your offer around that. And so I know we're talking content right now, but also this applies on every level of the funnel as well. And so you want to make sure that you have a unique stance and you create some polarity there. Finally, number 3, before we get into some examples, and I'll show you real videos of mine that actually cranked, is the title. And so this is the visual hook. This is what ties everything in together. You can have a great topic that you're talking about, a very unique perspective and stance on it, and a really good opinion. But if nobody watches the video, it doesn't matter. And so you have to focus on the title. And this is like basically the written text on the screen of the video. And so you want to have a niche call out. You want to have trigger words in there, and almost kind of like bait and switch them in a way, right? I don't mean like completely do that, but an example is like I made a video that said 100K a month with high ticket is a scam. And then I did $4 million with it. And you're kind of like, wait, what? Because it's like a bait and switch, right? It's like, oh, it's a scam. So it's like negative, but then it's like, I did $4 million with it. So it's positive. It goes from one side of the spectrum completely to the other, and it causes like confusion. And that's what gets people to want to lean in and learn more. They're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Right? But if you think about it, I also have a niche call out, right? 100K a month. That's like the holy grail that everybody in the high ticket space is after, right? Well, maybe not everyone, but sickos like me. Anyways, high ticket. Nobody knows what high ticket is if they're not in high ticket coaching or consulting or in the info space, right? And so that's going to repel the people that I don't want, the broke people who don't even have a business, because I don't want to work with them, right? And then is a scam. That's a trigger word, right? So 100K a month with high ticket, that's kind of like the niche call out. And then is a scam is the trigger word. And so everyone has either been called a scam, is afraid of being called a scam, or has been scammed before. And so it's a very emotionally charged word. And then boom, I did $4 million with it. And then it just slaps you across the face. And it's like, wait, what am I reading right now? And the reason why the title, like, yes, the hook is like what you actually say in the first sentence is really important too. But the reason why the title is extremely important is because a lot of people are scrolling without their volume on. And so their eyes have to read the thing. If there's nothing to read, then like they're going to keep scrolling. And so it's important that you actually really nail this too. And so before we get into the examples, I want to get into like just a couple little side notes. Volume and consistency. The algorithm right now is absolutely pumping volume and consistency. If you post often and you be consistent with it every day, like it's going to favor you. I have multiple people every single day tell me, bro, I can't open my phone and not see your face yapping on my phone. I was like, that's right. I'm posting 3 times a day on Instagram right now and 3 days a week on YouTube. And so I'm cranking volume and I'm being very consistent with it. I haven't missed a single day. And then you also want to go niche viral, right? You don't want to go viral. You want to go niche viral, because when you go like broad viral, that's when you just get creatures from the depths of the internet that should have their phone and Wi-Fi confiscated, following you and messaging you and wasting your time because they're never going to buy from you. There's the most horrible leads, not even leads, just creatures. And like, we don't want any of them anywhere close to us, right? But if we go niche viral, then that's when it pops in your tiny little corner of the market with your people that have pain, money, and urgency and intent. And that's what's going to get the right people coming to you. So with that said, let's get into some examples. So this one absolutely cranked for me. And so you can see on the title right here, doing 100K a month with high ticket is a scam. The topic so that's the title. The topic was about the model, right? The traditional high ticket coaching model is broken. That's the topic. If you're a business owner, you probably feel resistance to your business right now. You probably feel like it's a lot harder than it needs to be. And you're like, why, like, what's going on here, right? Does it need to feel this hard? So I'm leaning into that. And I'm affirming those beliefs because that's how I felt too. And then the take was like, it doesn't have to be hard, right? I made more profit today alone in one day than I used to make in a month when I was ripping 150 to 200 grand a month. And it only takes 1 call a week to deliver on. Stack some MRR and then boom, right? And so I'll play the video for you and actually show you what it is. And this is actually hilarious too. So when I recorded this video, I was just recording an Instagram story. I was just going to post this on my story. And that was it. And so it was like super raw, unfiltered. It was just like, this was on the night of my birthday, actually, when I did a webinar to launch my new offer. And then boom, made more profit in a single day than I used to, making 150 to 200 grand a month. And so again, I was just going to post this on my story. And then before I did, I was like, what if I actually just post this as a reel? And then I was like, huh. And so I saved it and then uploaded it as a reel, and it cranked. It went niche viral. It popped. Got me so many leads, tons of likes, comments, all that. And I'll play it for you right now.
So just had a few more clients to roll through. So just onboard them right now. Before I dive into this bad boy, I just realized something. I made more profit today than I would have doing 150 grand a month. And it's going to take 1 call a week to fulfill on. It doesn't have to be hard.
So as you can see, it's very retarded and it's a horrible video, but it cranked because it doesn't feel like an ad. It feels extremely organic because it was. This was like a live snapshot of how I was feeling emotionally. And like I had the Rihanna crank in the background, it was a pattern interrupt. I was literally talking about Lego, about this UCS Venator I was about to build, which was sick, by the way. It's on my floor right now beside me. And that was my reward for launching the webinar and finishing my program. And yeah, and so like there's long pauses in there. If I tried to recreate this right now, I would not be able to match the energy and it would completely flop. And so that's why it's important to do cool shit that people actually care about, and then you can talk about it, and then it feels real and authentic. And so I got like tons of tons of high quality leads from that one. And like the comment section was insane. People are just like, it was popping off, like really high quality leads. And a lot of them are like, yeah, just like coaches and within my exact wheelhouse. And so again, I nailed the topic, the take, and the title in that one. And then I was like, okay, well, if that works, let's just rinse and repeat. And so again, high ticket coaching is a scam. And then I tried in brackets. I did 2 million a year with it. So this is where I did a bit of a frame switch, right? Because this one I just had that is a scam. And then in the description, I talked about how I made a bunch of money today. But then this one was like kind of talking about the breakdown and the margins. And so then I was like, I was ripping 2 million a year with my coaching business with a team of 5 people. And then I broke down the numbers, right? And then, but here's the problem. Between all the whatever, I had over 50K a month in fixed recurring expenses, plus another 20% in variable sales commissions, but no recurring revenue. So I had recurring expenses, but no recurring revenue. And so I was just relying on new sales. It's like every single person in the high ticket space resonates with this, right? We were purely relying on new sales, and then the margins were super low, all said and done. And so it was just an absolute grind. And then boom, I found a better way, right? And so I'll play this one for you too, real quick. Hopefully you can actually hear this. I'll have to check this after the video, but yeah, that would suck. Anyways.
I'm convinced that high ticket coaching is a scam. We are halfway through the month. It's December 16th. I'm at $67.3 thousand in the last 2 weeks. I'm a one-man show. My business costs about $5K to run. I spend $3,000 a month on ads. My assistant is about $300, $400 a month. And then I have an accountant and software, which is about another $1 or $2,000. So let's call it 5 or 6. So that means I've profited about $60,000 to $62,000 in the last 2 weeks. I used to run a team there were 6 of us, and we were doing about $2 million a year. So on average, about 150, 160 grand a month. It was extremely stressful. There was a lot of chaos. We had hundreds of clients, and it was an absolute nightmare. I had about 60 to 80 grand a month at least in recurring expenses, but I had no recurring revenues. That means every single month I had to start from zero, or actually in the hole, to like get to the point of break even, just reliant on new sales. Now I have about $20,000 a month in recurring revenue. That's just pure recurring, not split pays. That comes at the start of every month. Day one of the month, I have 4 times more recurring revenue than my recurring expenses. And if I wanted to, I could work an hour or 2 a day. It doesn't have to be hard. All you have to do is restructure and rebuild things in a way that's actually scalable, that gets you the life that you want and your clients the results that they want.
What a banger. But again, I'm only just sharing my own story and my own unique experience. And I can't do that if I haven't done anything, right? And so it's very important that you do that. But like nobody else can replicate this video. Nobody else can make the same kind of video because no one else has done that thing that I did. And so that's where my unique take and perspective comes, right? And this one absolutely cranked. And then number 3, same kind of thing. I was like, well, if the title works, I might as well just keep ripping it. High ticket coaching is a scam. I made $4 million with it, right? So instead of like $2 million a year with it, I was like, what about $4 million? And I just changed the color of the text. And I'm like, oh, let's see what this does. And then I put a screenshot of my calendar a year ago when I was ripping, I think, we're doing, it might have been when we did 286. Oh no, that was January, never mind. It was like 2 months after this, we did a big one. And anyways, I made $4 million coaching and realized that it was pointless, right? And then boom. And then again, I had a good caption because some people just read the captions too. And so it was well thought out. But I just talked about, I won't play the video for this. You can go check my Instagram and swipe for this one. I don't want to make this video too long, but I think you get the point by now, right? Where it's like a good title, good topic, and a good take. And then as a result, it absolutely cranks. And so with that said, when you nail all 3 of those things, you're going to start popping off. And now keep in mind too, like I was on a call with somebody, someone just paid me for a one-on-one call the other day. And he's like, hey bro, he's like, I'm stuck at 100K a month right now. I want to get to 3. What do I do? I'm like, okay, well, what are you doing right now? He's like, well, most of it's coming, like I'm running a little bit of ads, but most of it's coming organic. I'm posting 12 Instagram reels a day. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I thought 3 a day for me was like a lot. And anyways, yeah, I'm like, dang, okay, there's levels to this. And so he's being very consistent. He's cranking volume. And then Hormozy actually sent an email last week. I think he called it like qualium, where it's like, if you like, the algorithm is looking for quality volume, and that's what you should be optimizing for. And so if you're anything like me, you don't like the high production stuff, you're not good. I love just hitting record, yapping, and like having an idea of what I'm going to say and have some points and stuff like that, of course. But then like no post production, it's just raw, authentic, real, and it cranks. I've been doing this with a handful of my clients this month as well, and they've been making like so many sales purely inbound just from this, and just because people keep seeing them over and over and over. And it's one of those things like you can run but you can't hide. And so if people keep seeing your face every time they open their phone, it's like, who are they going to throw their credit cards at? You. I literally had a guy throw his credit card at me, and 2 days ago I was talking to him. He's like, bro, he's like, the reason I paid, he's like, I've been following you for like 2 years, but the reason I paid right now is because like over the last few weeks, it's like I just keep seeing you everywhere. And I was like, I know. You can run but you can't hide. And so that is the art of Yapmaxxing. When you nail the Trinity, you will start popping off, hopefully just in your niche, and attracting very good, high quality buyers who come in with pain, money, and intent, and who actually want to give you money. If you want my help to actually roll this out and work together, not only do I do this, but also like ads, content, offer, mindset, setting, sales, delivery, systems, like everything under the sun that it takes to build and scale a coaching business, book a call down with me. Book a call with me down in the description below, or shoot me a message on Instagram. Links in the description as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Bye.